everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight on my website, fireyourmdnow.com at 8 p.m. Central Time, I'm doing a live webinar that talks about Candida. You know, years ago, Candida was the big thing in holistic alternative medicine. Everybody's got Candida, which is a yeast overgrowth, a yeast infection, right? Well, most people don't have it. Candida is a garbage can diagnosis. Some people do have it. Most people don't. There's a reason why. There's a reason how you know whether you have Candida or not. And if you do, there's very simple things that you can do to fix it. And if you check out my webinar tonight, we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you all about it. I will make tonight's webinar free. Normally, in order to get access to my health webinars, you have to pay $5 a month as a subscription fee. $5 a month. It's peanuts. You know, that's like 19 cents a day or something, right? It's a ridiculously small amount of money. But tonight, for my listeners at fireyourmdnow.com, at GCN Communication Network, I'm going to make the health webinar tonight free. So you can go to fireyourmdnow.com at about 7:45 Central Time. Right there on the front page, there's going to be a link, and you just click on that link, and it'll bring you right to the webinar page, and you can join us and see what it's all about. And if you like what you see tonight, then you can sign up for the monthly subscriptions. And also, in addition to the live webinars that we do 3 times a month on Wednesday nights about different health subjects, I also have right now about 22 recorded and archived webinars that are available to be viewed when you have your subscription 24/7. So check us out tonight free of charge. This is a one-time offer. I'm only extending it to people listening to this radio show right now. So if you're not a member of my longevity group, if you're not yet a subscriber to the webinars, this is your chance. Go to fireyourmdnow.com a little before 8 p.m. Central Time, and the webinar goes for about an hour. We start at about 8:05 and we go until about 8:45. It's about 45-minute long presentation. Then we open it up for Q&A. So check it out. Log on to fireyourmdnow.com, and life is good. Now, if you'd like to talk to me today, live and in person, with a question about health, the toll-free number is 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Once more for the record books, 866-582-9933. They always tell us repeat it 3 times. I don't know why. I don't know if that's an old wives' tale or not. And if you would like help ordering a supplement, if you would like help understanding the longevity business or health opportunity, or you're trying to call and you can't get through, then you can call my associates. My friendly and helpful associates are standing by waiting to help you get your questions answered. That number, 855-347-3696. That's toll free, 855-347-3696. 855-347-3696. And 24/7 on the World Wide Web at Fire Your MD Now. And you know I mean it. You know I do. As God is my witness, the last person you want to bring your body to if you were suffering with a chronic ailment is an MD. The only people selling snake oil in this country have MD after their name. They're the leading cause of death in the United States. And under their watch for the last 100 years, chronic disease has skyrocketed. The MD practices reductionistic pharmaceutical centrist medicine, and it is 100% inappropriate in the treatment of any chronic disease. You don't believe me? Believe Linus Pauling. 2-time Nobel Prize award winner. Here's what Linus Pauling said. All chronic disease has its roots in multiple mineral deficiencies. Couldn't agree more, Linus. My colleague Dr. Wallach's research, $25 million of research, conducted from 71 to 83, confirmed what Linus Pauling said. All chronic disease is rooted in chronic nutrient deficiencies. Because your MD has no training, no respect, no appreciation, and no understanding of clinical nutrition, it is impossible for him or her to help you recover your health from a chronic disease. They cannot do it. It is a fool's errand to bring your body to an MD if you're suffering with a chronic illness. That's why I'm here. That's why the Longevity Company is here, to drag you into the light of medical nutrition. And towards that end, we're going right to the phones. Ed is calling with a question about his brother, I think. Ed, welcome aboard. You are live with Dr. Glidden. How can I help?
Hey, Dr. Glidden. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
All right. What's up?
I have a brother that has Down syndrome. He's been pretty healthy all his life. He's actually 55 years old now.
Yeah.
He's starting to forget. His hands are starting to pin up on him. He's starting to wander a little bit. Now the MDs have him on a few different drugs, a Seroquel, Xanax, and a statin, a low-grade statin.
Well, or you know what I'm going to tell you, right? You need to fire the MDs. I mean, they're the the wrong dog for the hunt, man. This is not the appropriate therapy for this condition. So, first of all, let me tell you this: Down syndrome, from our point of view, is caused by a zinc deficiency in the developing embryo. It's a zinc deficiency in the pregnant mother. It causes chromosomal damage, which generates the presentation of something that the MDs call Down syndrome. And once that switch has been flipped, there's no going back. However, my colleague, Dr. Wallach, has been treating kids with Down syndrome for the last 30 years. And there's a handful of children that have adopted their parents, and then the kids as they grew up, adopted Dr. Wallach's medical nutrition advice, changed their diet, and started taking nutritional supplements. And these kids had Down syndrome. And even though they had a definitive diagnosis of Down syndrome, because they were properly nutrifying their body every day, their entire life, and because they were eating all the right foods all of the time, they were able to get married and hold down jobs, which is very uncharacteristic for people with Down syndrome. So we have direct evidence that you can be a highly functioning member of society with Down syndrome if you get on board with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. But your MD does not know this. Now, the conditions that your brother is suffering from are not a function of Down syndrome. The conditions that your brother is suffering from now are illnesses related to not enough nutrition in the human body. So how much does your brother weigh?
155.
All right. So here's what I would recommend you do for your brother for 90 days, and to look to see if it makes a noticeable difference in how he is acting and how he responds to the world, all right? First things first, your brother and you and your mother and your sister and everybody in your family and everybody in your church and everybody on the planet needs to go to fireyourmdnow.com and download my free document, Good Food, Bad Food. Download it. And if it's on the good food list, you can eat it. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. And if it's on the bad list, I don't even want you to look at it. You and your brother and everybody else must stop eating the foods that are in the bad food list, and there's 10 of them. You need to stop eating those foods, because if you don't, there's no amount of vitamins or nutrition that's going to help you. Because if you don't, it's going to be like pouring nutrients into a bucket that's got holes in it. We're going to be pouring the stuff in the top, and it's going to be leaking right out the bottom. You have to stop eating 10 foods that are hurting you. You don't know they're hurting you, otherwise you wouldn't be eating them. But I'm telling you they're hurting you. And the good news here is when you stop eating these 10 foods, you feel better immediately. And then down the road, when you fall off the wagon and eat one of those foods, you feel like crap immediately. And so this diet becomes a self-fulfilling philosophy, because when you follow the rules, you feel good, and when you don't follow the rules, you feel bad. It's really easy to do, number one. Number two, in order to support and promote the health of your brother's body, here's what I would recommend he do every month. One healthy start pack, one extra bottle of OsteoFX Plus, 4 bottles of selenium, and 1 bottle of EFA at the 180 count. 1 bottle of the EFA, like Edward Francis Albert, at the 180 count. 1 EFA 180, 4 bottles of selenium, 1 bottle of Osteo FX Plus, and 1 Healthy Start Pack. Get that in your brother's body every day for the next 90 days and clean up his diet, and then call me back with a testimonial, because you will observe a noticeable difference in your brother's behavior, and so will he within 90 days, as God is my witness. Thank you so much for calling. We got to move on to the next caller. We have a minute and a half left. Kwiku, I think, has a question about expecting mothers. You are live with Dr. Glidden.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Glidden, for taking the call. My name is Kwiku, and I'm calling for my friend who's in her 11th week of pregnancy and has morning sickness and intense nausea, and has been prescribed Zofran, which has reduced the nausea a bit. But what we really want to find is, are there some natural foods and minerals that she should be taking to help that she can actually keep down given the nausea?
It's irrelevant. And I understand your question, but it's the wrong question, all right? Now, we're up against a hard break here. So on the other side of the break, I'm going to tell you why that's the wrong question. I'm going to tell you what the right question is. And I'm going to tell you what to tell her, which is going to support and promote the health of her unborn child and dramatically reduce the chances that that child is born with autism, that that child is born with Down syndrome, or that that child is born with any birth defect. There's a couple things we can do for the nausea of pregnancy. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but there's something else that we need to pay attention to here. There's something else that's much more important, much more dangerous than the nausea of pregnancy. God, don't you love that music? I love that music. I can just picture Dr. Glidden sneaking around the alley with his vitamin bottles, throwing them in windows, right? So we're talking with Kwiku. He has a question about expecting mothers and what we can do to decrease nausea and vomiting of pregnancy. Well, I was going to tell you about that at the end, but there's something that we need to be much more concerned about up front. Autism has grown exponentially in the country in the last 30 years. It used to be 1 out of 10,000. Now it's 1 out of 800. It's an epidemic of autistic children, and birth defects are also accelerating. Now, the reason that butter does not cost $100 a pound, the reason that steak does not cost $100 a pound, the reason that chicken and pork and bacon and eggs don't cost $100 a pound or $100 a dozen is because the chickens and the pigs and the cows and the animals that we eat don't get sick. They don't have health insurance. So the veterinarian industry had to figure out how to make them healthy and prevent birth defects, right? The reason that food from animals is relatively inexpensive is because the veterinarian bills that the people who grow those animals are in the toilet because their animals don't get sick. Why don't their animals get sick? Why don't they have birth defects? Because of research that my colleague Dr. Wallach did from 1970 to 1982. This research eliminated 600 diseases in the animal kingdom and virtually wiped out all birth defects in the animal kingdom. Because this research that's now in the Smithsonian, for goodness sake, concluded that the vast majority of birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies in the pregnant mother. As the embryo is developing, it needs nutrients, it needs vitamins and minerals and essential fatty acids in order to flip the genetic switches, in order to keep the chromosomes healthy, in order to support and promote the growth of the heart and the lungs and the liver and the kidney and the brain, right? Your body just can't live on air. Well, the developing embryo can't live on just air either, and if the developing embryo does not have the nutrients that it needs to develop properly, guess what? It doesn't develop properly. Down syndrome is caused by not enough zinc in the body of the pregnant mother. Cystic fibrosis is not enough selenium in the body of the pregnant mother. neural tube defects, not enough vitamin B12. And let me tell you something, folks, the prenatal vitamins that your MDs are giving you won't cut it. So before anybody even thinks about getting pregnant, we recommend they clean up their diet and go on the Healthy Start Pack. 1 Healthy Start Pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. This medical nutrition program will provide the developing infant with all of the nutrients that it needs, and you will dramatically reduce, if not eliminate, any birth defect, including autism. This is our clinical experience. Now, have we done $40 million to figure out that, this is the fix for autism? No. But it is our clinical experience that points in this direction. So, Kwaku, much more important than figuring out a remedy for nausea and vomiting of pregnancy is figuring out a way to get into this woman and every other pregnant woman on the planet the essential nutrients that she needs to stay healthy and that the child needs to develop properly. Okay, are you with me there, Kwaku? Are you still on the line? All right. Well, maybe he went off here. All right. So this is what we need to do. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Good. Now, so I want her to have 1 Healthy Start Pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus the good food, bad food diet that you can find at drglidden.com. Now, there is a homeopathic medicine that has a possibility of helping to dramatically reduce or even alleviate the symptoms of nausea and vomiting during pregnancy. And it's a very peculiar homeopathic medicine. It's called Symphoricarpus racemosus. You spell that S-Y-M like Mary, P-H-O-R-I-C-A-R-P-U-S, racemosus. I'll put that on my website after this radio show at drglidden.com or fireyourmdnow.com. You can get that medicine by calling up a company called Homeopathy Overnight, and I am not affiliated with them. 800-276-4223. That's a plug for Homeopathy Overnight. Get that homeopathic medicine and have her take 2 pellets of the Symphoricarpus every 30 minutes while she's experiencing nausea and vomiting. If after 4 doses there's no change, stop taking it. If it produces a change, she stops taking it until the nausea comes back, and then she starts again. It's that easy. Homeopathy is a very unique system of medicine. It has its own diagnostic procedures. It has its own medical philosophy. It even has its own medicines. And the way that a homeopathic medicine is manufactured is unique. And it's unlike any other type of medicine in the world. It is an extremely unique system of medicine. Much more widespread and mainstream in Europe and in India than it is in the United States, even though before the infamous Flexner Report of the 1920s, there were many homeopathic medical schools and homeopathic medical hospitals here in the United States, but they were all run out of town, out of business after the Flexner Report, which funded the pharmaceutical monopoly takeover of the medical industry in the United States, and that's a lecture for another day and another time. Homeopathic medicine is extremely effective to stimulate the self-healing properties of your body to help people recover from a chronic illness or even an acute illness like a sore throat or the croup rapidly being the operative word here. If you have an arthritic condition and you're following my advice about medical nutrition and cleaning up your diet and taking the appropriate nutritional supplements which support and promote the health of your body and give your body the raw materials that it needs to fix itself. If you do that and you're suffering with an arthritic condition, it is only a matter of time until the arthritic condition resolves and goes away. If you combine the medical nutrition and the diet with homeopathy, it rapidly speeds up your recovery. It rapidly speeds up the recovery. The only problem with homeopathic treatment is homeopathy is individualized. So I could have triplets, right? They all have the same genes. They're identical triplets. They have the same genes. They live in the same house. They eat the same food. They're subjected to the same stress, and they all have arthritis. Each one of the triplets would get exactly the same medical nutrition program from me, assuming they all weighed the same amount. That's the only variable there. But they'd all get the same stuff, and they'd all be put on the same diet as far as the nutrients, the vitamin and mineral supplements, and the diets go. But when it comes to a homeopathic intervention, in order to help the triplets get on the other side of the arthritic condition, to speed up the healing of the arthritic condition, it is entirely possible that they would each need a different homeopathic medicine to accomplish that. And this is the trouble and the problem with homeopathic prescribing. Because in order for a homeopathic medicine to work, to stimulate your body's ability to fix itself rapidly, you have to hit the bullseye with the prescription. Now, there are probably 25 different homeopathic medicines that we can use in helping people to get on the other side of arthritis, for example. And I just made that number up. But there's easily 25 homeopathic medicines. If you don't get the right one, it's not going to work. In order for homeopathy to work, you have to hit the bullseye with it every time. And if you miss, nothing's going to happen. Now, this is the good news about homeopathy. The homeopathic medicines are inexpensive, they're safe, and they're gentle on the human body. The worst thing that can happen when anybody takes a homeopathic medicine is that it will not work. Now, the worst thing that will happen if you take a prescription medicine is that it'll kill you. I mean, which is better? It just doesn't work, or you die from the treatment. Well, guess what? The homeopathic treatment is always better. The medical nutrition treatment is always better. Because you know how many people died from vitamins last year? None. Do you know how many people died from drugs and medical treatment? 780,000. And I'm the quack. You got to be kidding me. But to get back to the therapeutic use of homeopathy for the nausea and the vomiting of pregnancy, even though classical homeopathy argues correctly that in order to have an effective treatment, the homeopathic medicine must be prescribed individually, there are a handful of physical conditions which have shown historically that there are one or two homeopathic medicines only that are the most effective in the treatment of that condition. So when we talk about generic homeopathic prescribing, we're getting into a very gray area, and all of the classical homeopaths in the world, living or dead, just rolled over, right? Because this is heresy with homeopathy. Prescribing any homeopathic medicine generically is heresy, and it's verboten, and you're just not supposed to do it. Yeah, I'm going out on a limb here, because when it comes to the nausea and vomiting of pregnancy, there is one homeopathic medicine that is effective most of the time. And this kind of goes against the classical homeopathic prescribing grain, but nonetheless, here it is. It's called Symphoricarpus alba. The common name for this is snowberry, or Symphoricarpus alba. I'll put a link to this on the front page of my website, and you can check it out. So you've got nothing to lose if you are pregnant and the nausea and the vomiting of the pregnancy are bothering you, getting in your way. Some women, they get it a little bit. Some women, they don't get it at all. Some women, it's a very big deal, and it's a problem because they can't keep food down. They can't keep nutrients down. So a quick down and dirty, Symphoricarpus prescription for the nausea and vomiting of pregnancy can't hurt. The most that it could hurt is your wallet. Maybe you're going to spend $10 on the medicine. Maybe you're going to spend $20 if you include the shipping. Big deal. So get the Symphoricarpus, take it, and you might get lucky because over 50% of the time, this medicine all by itself really does a lot to knock down the nausea and the vomiting induced by pregnancy. You got nothing to lose, folks. If this is one of your problems, check it out. and then you're going to be an advocate and a devotee of homeopathy, which I talk about a lot, by the way, in my book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. So, I'm going to do some shameless plugging for my book here. Go to fireyourmdnow.com and purchase yourself a copy of The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. If you like this radio show, you're going to love that book because it talks in detail about all of the subjects we talk about quickly here on the radio. I'm very proud of that book. It took me 50 years to write it. Right? And you're going to love the information that's in there, and it makes a great birthday present as well. And I have a lot of people all around the world who are using that book to enroll their friends and their family members in the type of medicine that we do here. Because, like the fellow said, when you experience the truth, you're in its velvet grasp forever. And when you hear somebody speak the truth or you read somebody who's written about the truth, little lights start to go off in your head, and that beats a poke in the eye. Folks, if you'd like to talk to me right now today, 866-582-9933. And if you'd like help understanding what we're doing, or help placing your order, or help understanding how to take this stuff, you can give my team of friendly associates a call. Their toll-free number, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. I've been practicing naturopathic medicine for over 2 decades now. And for the first, I still practice it, but for the first 15 years of my medical history, practicing medicine as a licensed physician, I did homeopathic medicine almost exclusively. I have a lot of experience with homeopathy. I know most of the big players on the homeopathic stage all around the country, and have quite a bit of hands-on experience with homeopathic medicine. It is a fantastic treatment of choice. If you can find a classical homeopath and marry that with medical nutrition, that's a home run, because that's what I do, and I'm the smartest man in class today. I think Billy's back. Billy, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's perfect now, Billy. How can I help
sorry,
you?
Man. Hey, I could go on forever and ever, but I'll try to condense this. I was explaining to my brother, who's currently serving in the Army right now, how because of listening to you and doing a good food, bad food diet and getting on the supplements you required, that my blood pressure is now in order. I've been taking the max dosage for years, and now, in the space of 3 weeks, I no longer have blood pressure issues. In fact, my kid and my wife, because of just taking the tangy tangerine, no longer have allergy issues. My nephew, who has asthma, and my niece, who actually died from asthma, he no longer has asthma anymore. And I was bragging to him, telling him about you and Dr. Wallach, and here's his issue. He's absolutely on board, but he's a soldier, and he's currently serving. He's got aches and pains all over for years of jumping out of helicopters and planes, and he's been wanting to redo his knee. He's got issues with the things he's seen in combat, and he's wondering, he doesn't want to take these psycho drugs, and he's wondering if there is anything you could do for him.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if you know it or not, but Dr. Wallach is an active colonel in the Air Force. Dr. Wallach has special skills in the military, and his military, I don't know if you call it a military license, but they can recall Dr. Wallach anytime they want. He's on like semi-active duty. I don't know what it is, but he can be called back. And when the Twin Towers went down, Dr. Wallach they called him, they reactivated him, sending him to Germany for 2 weeks. So we do a lot of work with the armed forces. We have a lot of respect for the armed forces, and we help them. It doesn't matter whether you're a soldier, whether you're a non-soldier, whether you're just part of the public, whether you're a lay person, whether you're a religious person, Democrat, Republican, we'll help you, and I'll tell you what you can do to help him. So, really, the only thing that's necessary here, there's 2 ways to do this. If there's pain that's present, you can do 1 healthy bone and joint pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And if pain isn't so much of a deal, like he's not on pain meds, he doesn't need to manage his pain, with Advil or with prescription pain meds. If it's just kind of a bother, he's got achy joints and, it's a problem, right? Then the recommendation would be 1 Healthy Start Pack, 2 bottles of selenium, and 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 Healthy Start Pack, 2 selenium, and 1 plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 glucogel capsule per 10 pounds of body weight per day. So if he's 210 pounds, 210 divided by 10 is 21. He needs 21 glucogel a day. So 21 times 30 days in the month, is 610. So you would need to figure out how many bottles of the glucogel to buy to get you to the 610 count per month. And Longevity sells the glucogel capsules in 240 count or 120 count. So if you did 2 240 and 1 120, that would just about cover it. But in any event, that's how you calculate that. And that's what I would do. That's all that he's going to need to do. And the magic here is that when he does this, he's going to feel better just the same way that you and everybody else in the family did, and it's going to be incrementally, right? Every couple of weeks, his joints are going to feel better, and feel better, and then he'll be out of the woods. Now, if he or anybody else in your life is a hard sell, and they believe it, but they don't believe it, they trust you, but they don't trust you, maybe they can do it, maybe they can't, what you can do with those people is get everybody just 1 bottle of the plant-derived minerals. 1 bottle, it's $19. 1 bottle of the plant-derived minerals, and have everybody who takes it take 1 ounce twice a day. 1 ounce of the plant-derived minerals twice a day in a little bit of juice. If anybody does 1 ounce of the plant-derived minerals twice a day for 14 days, which is how long that will last, they will notice a physical difference. They will feel better. Something will brighten up. Something will change, and then you'll have a foot in the door. And, if he really wants to hear it from the horse's mouth because he's a military guy, then I suggest he call Dr. Wallach on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio show. And you can get the times and the call-in numbers for that at fireyourmdnow.com or at drglidden.com, okay? So, sometimes military guys like to hear it from other military guys rather than their brother or their sibling or their next-door neighbor, right? So, in any event, that's what I'm going to advise you to do with that guy. And as God is my witness, he's going to feel better, too, because, like Dr. Wallach said, this stuff is as predictable as gravity. And now, with a minute and a half left, I'm going to go to Joseph, if you're there, with a question about gout. Joseph, you're live with Dr. Glidden. I guess Joseph isn't there. That's okay. Well, anyway, if there's Joseph, if you're still listening and the question was about gout, here's the deal. Gout is caused by a facultative breakdown in your liver. So anybody suffering from gout needs to go on the good food, bad food diet. And you also need to do research and remove from your diet a classification of foods that are high in something called purines. It's P like Peter, U, R like Robert, I-N-E-S. You must remove the foods that contain purines. And for nutritional supplements, do 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. We also have a topical anti-inflammatory called CM cream, like Charlie Michael, CM cream. And if you apply that topically, it can knock down the pain and the inflammation while you're waiting for the medical nutrition to kick in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tell all your friends and all your family members about this show. We are on a mission to help eliminate human suffering. I'll talk to you tomorrow.